Welcome, everyone. My name is Alicio Castaneda. Welcome to CEO Talks. We have another podcast episode today, and today I have the honor of being with Miss Julie Burke. Who told you about the networking game? Or how did you learn about the networking and the value?
That's a really good question. I hadn't thought about that one. And I think I saw something on Facebook. I felt like the educational side of business wasn't as easy to find.
Yes.
What did I say earlier? People purchase from who they know, like, and trust, and the quickest way for them to know, like, and trust you is video. Video is the quickest way for people to know, like, and trust you if you cannot come in person.
My colony, I want everybody to come in with an open mindset.
Yep.
Because you don't know what you're going to walk away with.
The Hive Mastermind is only for my Hive clients.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Alicio Castaneda. I'm the branch manager with Burke & Herbert Bank, your favorite banker. Welcome to CEO Talks. We have another podcast episode today, and today I have the honor of being with Miss Julie Burke.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for making time coming out. You're someone I really look up to as a mentor, as a coach. So I'm really happy for today.
Yay,
I'm really excited.
Me too.
Yes, ma'am. So one thing we want to start off with CEO Talks, it's really get to know about you, our guest, Miss Julie, your career experience thus far and what you're doing now and what you want to start pivoting into.
Sure. To really go back, I have an accounting degree, so I have a bit of a business background. So I worked in several nonprofits in the DC, Northern Virginia area as their, finance, HR operations.
Okay, a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah. When you work for a nonprofit, you take on more than one job. Definitely. So, and then I kind of transitioned out of that a little bit in that because I met my husband, we started a family, and working full time was something that we felt was not good for our particular family environment. So I took a step back and still used the accounting degree, but worked part-time for many, many, many years so I could still be home for the kids and do all the stuff that they needed to do with doctor's appointments and dentist appointments and all that good stuff.
That's still the full time.
That is full time.
That's still the full time. I think a lot of people don't take that in consideration. Being a stay-at-home parent, the mother or the father, that's the full time. That's not even a full time. You don't get 8 hours. You don't get 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Well, I always say I was a true stay-at-home mom at one point for about a year, and went back to work because I wanted to go back to work because I was like, these little things don't listen to me. And people used to take me seriously and people used to value my opinion and these little things don't.
It's like a very well respected individual and organization and now the children are like, that's mom, it's cool, we can break all the rules.
She doesn't know what she's talking about. She doesn't know what she's talking about. So I did go back to work voluntarily, but on a part-time basis, and worked at a local company in Manassas. And I actually just quit that job very recently. And
congratulations!
Thank you.
It's a little bit nerves doing that, or transitioning to a different role, but when you take that step, it's a good step.
Yeah. So no, it was a little. It is daunting.
I've been there before.
Daunting.
That's right.
But I just kept saying because it just freed up some time for me to work on the passion, right? Work on what I want to work on, and so that's been great to not have that kind of hovering over here to the side. And then back in 2018, I started doing some direct sales MLM businesses, which are, I'm basically the salesperson for those particular businesses. And throughout the years, kind of went from one to one. I had a t-shirt business and then I did health and wellness there for a while and all that kind of good stuff. But it got me into the networking game.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because I wanted to meet more people to get my product out there to sell and to make money, right? To have my own business.
Yeah, it's both the personal side, make sure with the cost of living you can take care of yourself, your family, but then also the impact we want to get back to the community.
Right.
So one question I always have for entrepreneurs or people in their careers is, who told you about the networking game? Or how did you learn about the networking and the value? And then from there, which groups to go to? Did you go to all, or did you start with a few and then scale up? How did that look like for you, Julie?
That's a really good question. I hadn't thought about that one. And I think I saw something on Facebook.
Back in 2018?
Back in 2018.
Okay.
I think I saw something on Facebook. It was an all-women's group. And I was like, I'm an extrovert. Shocking, I know.
Naturally born leader, that's right.
Naturally born that I can talk to anybody. And I was like, I can go talk to somebody and talk about my product, and this is considered business, and meet new people. And that sounded fabulous to me. So I started with that. And did I go to every single networking group that I could? No, because time, right? Time is a factor. But I definitely found a groove of what worked for my schedule and what worked for me. And I always say that, you should go to networking for two reasons, and that's either that you're getting business out of it, or that's where your friends are going to be. And just make sure that it's a good time.
Yeah. If you're not having fun, like, come on, you got to reevaluate.
Right,
What's the point of doing it?
And ideally, you find a group that gives you both, right?
Yeah, you need a group that gives you both. That's right.
So I just kind of would go when I could. And I have some of my best friends are people that I met back in 2018 who had their own businesses, and they've transitioned out of them, and I transitioned out of them, but we still have stayed connected. And
that's beautiful.
It's amazing.
I love hearing that. It's not amazing. Just the business; it's the friendships that can get formed out of that.
Absolutely,
that's right. Absolutely.
And then I was given an opportunity to lead a local group in Prince William County, Virginia. Okay. I shouldn't say lead it, to help lead it, to help with a Facebook group and help moderate that and help
the in-person meetings,
and then help with the in-person meetings.
Gotcha.
Exactly. So there was the Facebook group, and then there was the in-person meetings, and then late last summer, I decided to make the transition out on my own and do it the way that I wanted to do it, and do it the way that I thought it was. But I'm forever grateful for that opportunity that I was given, because I really feel like all the stars aligned and I found what I was supposed to do.
No, that's right. That's right. It's like you built on it from 2018 when you first learned about the networking groups via Facebook. Then you got the opportunity to lead and or help moderate the Prince William County here in Virginia group. And then you, being a natural leader, being a natural expert, you're like, I can help people, and this is what I want to do. Yeah. So I know I said that back in late summer, early fall 2024, but congratulations again, Julie.
Thank you.
And the achievements you've done in about, 8 months?
Yeah.
7-8 months.
Yeah.
It's been beautiful to see.
Oh,
absolutely
you're so sweet.
Beautiful to see.
Thank you. It has been fun. It has been fun. I think when people find their true passion, it doesn't feel like work.
That's right.
And when you wake up every morning, you're like, okay, now I have my to-do list, but what are some other things that I could think about or mull over that can grow the business and it's not always about my business. It's how do I help grow everybody's business, because that's part of my business.
That's right.
And coming up with ideas, and I work with a set of clients that luckily listen to some of my crazy ideas that I come up with.
They're definitely not crazy ideas, because we in the crowd, we love hearing your ideas, Julie.
Yeah, so it's been really fun. It's been fun to be creative in that way, especially having an accounting background that's not super creative, right?
You usually think about an accountant, someone with an accounting degree, it's like they're going to be very rigid, follow everything, it's black and white.
Right.
There's no gray area. And see, when I think about an accountant, I think about somebody sitting in a little cubicle with a binder yay big, just going through file, your debits and your credits.
Yep, and they have their little 10 key, and they're crunching the numbers and all that kind of good stuff. And yes, I get that a lot, and that is what people generally think.
Exactly.
And but I like to think that I definitely bring that background along with the operations and the HR and how to deal with people. But then I found out in 2018 that I have kind of this creative side that I didn't even know that I had.
They tucked away somewhere, like, hey, bam.
Well, all my friends are very creative, and I always say, I don't need to be creative. That's why we're friends. You're the creativity. I'm the level-headed one. It's like steering the ship along, right?
The voice of reason, the rational,
right. Yeah. But I do have this creative side, and it's just being creative with businesses, and so it kind of marries the two for me, and it's been It's been fabulous. It's been really great. It's just so exciting.
I love to hear it.
Yeah.
And what is the name of the new, you as the founder, what's the name of the new organization you kicked off back in 2024?
Sure. It's called Buzz Networking.
Buzz Networking.
And it, if you see it written, it is capital B, lowercase UZZ, capital E, lowercase d. So people sometimes mistake it for Buzz Ed, but it is Buzz.
Buzz Ed.
But the reason why I spelled it that way is because one of the things that I felt like was missing here in Northern Virginia specifically was with networking groups, while it's great to meet new people and talk about your business and build the relationships and all that kind of good stuff, I felt like the educational side of business wasn't as easy to find.
That's right. Yeah.
And so so that's one of my pillars. One of my pillars of the business is business education. And we'll talk about Rick and James having their business education workshop at the end, maybe.
Yeah, and coming soon.
Ooh, a little teaser. And but I just felt like that was I don't want to say missing, because I think it is out there. I just think it's not as readily accessible. And it's not as easy to find.
Yeah,
and
you really got to find specific people, kind of pulling teeth to get that business education. It's not at the forefront, that's for sure.
Yeah,
in my experience.
Yeah, and mine either. You know, networking, I mean, you can find a networking group, you know.
Anywhere, free, paid, whatever.
Exactly.
Anything in between, virtual, in person, anything in between.
Exactly, but I really wanted to bring the educational side to it. So that was a really long story to say that BUZZ stands for, it's just a shortened version for business education. I thought buzz, biz, you know, and so that's why it's buzzed. And then I was not going to embrace the bee theme, and
because of buzz.
Because of buzz, right? My colors are not black and yellow. I was going to stay away from that as far as I could. And then something clicked one day where I started coming up with some programs, and I'm like, well, it'd be really cute if, you know, this program was called the Pollination Program.
Yeah.
And this one can be called the Colony. And my clients be called the Hive. And so now I've embraced it, and I'm just all in.
No, but sometimes you have to do it. Something Rick Hughes is very adamant about is branding. So you found your avenue for the branding.
Yes.
Even though you kind of want to stay away, but ultimately that's what we know you, Julie, as.
Right.
That's
well,
right.
And then, okay, not to get too much on bees, but I have come to find that bees are so important for our everyday living.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, there's another teaser for you. You can do your own research, but they are critical to our everyday environment and our everyday survival, and so it's kind of a nice correlation to say, okay, well, bees in general are so important. Hopefully buzz can be that important to the business owner.
Yeah. And I know you're taking huge steps to get that into our community, making that impact into our community. Aww. So I've had the honor of attending different events you've held, part of the Facebook group. So where I see the camaraderie, the connections online, and then those same connections are being built in person, that's where you know the value's there. This is something real. This isn't sales for the sake of selling. This is building relationships to see how one another we can help impact our community and keep going forward.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up, because sales is all about relationship building.
That's right.
100%. Right? Rick's back there shaking his head. Right. Yes, we're getting the yes from Rick. So yep. I'm on the right path. I can't tell you how many times people come up to me after a meeting, and not that they're disappointed, but, oh, I didn't get a sale. And I'm like, this is your first meeting. You just met these people.
Oh,
they don't know you.
Yeah.
They don't, you know? And so there's because, I mean, and I understand why they feel that way. We all are doing what we're doing because we have a passion for it, and we think what we're doing is fabulous.
That's right.
So you just think, oh, I'll talk to somebody about it, and they'll see the fabulousness too and want to just jump right in.
Sign the contract right there. That's right. Yeah.
It doesn't work that way, right?
Yeah.
And if it did work that way, wouldn't life be that much easier?
Life would be the easiest thing. I think we would have multi-billionaires across the nation.
Right. So yes, it is all about relationship building. And I have said this a million times. I'm going to continue to say it, that people purchase from who they know, like, and trust.
That's right.
And for them to know, like, and trust you, they have to know you. And they have to build that relationship with you for them to feel comfortable. If it's a $25 t-shirt, or if it's a podcast studio, or if it's here's all my money, Alicio, and I'm going to give it to you to keep it safe for me.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter how much money is going to exchange hands and what it's for. Know, like, and trust is the key factor. And so, and I always say, Rick, from Peace Entertainment Media, video is the quickest way for people to know, like, and trust you if you cannot come in person, right? I host in-person networking meetings for people to build those relationships. Yeah. But if for some reason you can't, video is the quickest way.
Video is the quickest way. And then something...
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Rick, for always those tidbits of advice. And what Rick has told me is the in-person is great because you get to do it on today, Wednesday, today, Saturday for an hour, 90 minutes. But with a video, that's going to be out there forever.
Oh, yeah.
And the great thing about that, you share it to your immediate friends on Facebook or Instagram. But then if you share it to different platforms, the eyes that you can get on that, it's unlimited. Yeah, and it's not just your community. So even though we're in the Northern Virginia community, Prince William County, we can maybe get views from California, from Canada, from the other side of the pond, right? Yeah, it does not matter. It's unlimited, and you can keep repeating that. So if you spend an hour, 90 minutes, like with us, Julie, we're here, but we can keep sharing this.
Yeah, and I don't have any crazy beliefs that any of this is going to go viral, and I can be reached at. People want me to help them with their brands. I'm available, but it is true. People who don't know me, who don't know you, are now getting to know us.
That's right.
And at least, hopefully, maybe there's a spark that's there to say, hey, I want to get to know them more. Pick up the phone, or let's hop on a Zoom and let's chat, right? Like, I'm always available for that. Zoom's become my best friend because I can't be everywhere. When I was helping run a networking group in Prince William County, Prince William County is a pretty large county.
Large and diverse.
Large and diverse.
Here in Northern Virginia.
But I will always want to meet with somebody in person before anything else. 100%.
That's my style. I'd 100%. Rather the person sit down, coffee, lunch, dinner.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely. But given that Buzzed is Northern Virginia, and I live out here, getting to Alexandria, Arlington may not be. It just may not fit in my schedule. So Zoom's become my best friend. Yeah. And while it's not the same as meeting in person, it definitely fills a void.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for those that, if we do go viral, for those that don't know about Northern Virginia, unfortunately, from Prince William County going near the D.C., yes, it may be only 30, 35 miles, but the traffic here is insane.
It's ridiculous.
Regardless of which road you jump on, it's insane. So definitely having that Zoom as the backup option where the in-person doesn't work for you, the person you want to connect with, you're still being connected and building valuable relationships.
Yeah, and I'm going to even be hosting some Zoom at noons.
Nice.
Because not everybody can make an in-person networking meeting. So I had one in February where it was an in-person networking meeting that I had to cancel because of the weather. And safety is always my number one priority when it comes to my networking meetings. And if there is any chance that somebody's going to get hurt or in an accident, I'm going to stay away from that. So I canceled the meeting, and I was like, but why don't we hop on at noon? We'll do a Zoom at noon, and whoever can make it, can make it.
They jump on, that's
and
right.
Literally the first 5 minutes, it's me and two people. And I'm like, okay, this is all that can make it. That's fine. This is very last minute. It was completely impromptu. And by the end of the hour, I think there might have been like 15 to 18 of us on there. So
from a group of 3 to right at the end of 18 people.
Right. Because people jumped on when they could. Or they just happened to see the note, the post.
A little later, they're like, wait a minute, maybe I still have time to jump on.
And with my meetings, if you need to be late, come late. If you need to leave early, you need to leave early. We are all adults. And
we're all business owners, entrepreneurs, or in our career and families. So if something comes up, you're free to leave. This isn't like school where you got to raise your hand.
No.
Hey, Miss Julie, do you think I can step out, take a phone call, use the restroom?
No.
We went through that already in school, right?
Right. But I've had people say, "Oh, I was going to be 20 minutes late, so I didn't come." I'm like, "Well, for the first 20 minutes, we're just milling around and getting to know each other anyway, so you haven't missed anything."
Exactly.
So still come. So I'm thrilled when I see people kind of hop on later. It just they hear me, they're hearing me, and they're taking me seriously. So I'm definitely going to do some more Zoom at Noons.
Yeah, that's a great avenue for those.
Yeah.
But I'm happy you really went into explaining what the Zoom at Noons looked like. And we had talked about your in-person. So what does the agenda look like for when you have your in-person meetings?
I like that because I'm going to take input because I was going to turn it around on you and get some suggestions. But let me tell you how it currently works. So it's an hour and a half meeting. I don't think any networking meeting needs to be longer than an hour and a half. I have been to a lot of networking meetings that are 2.5 hours. It can get a bit long.
You're dragging your feet.
It can be a lot long.
I got to keep going.
Right. You're like, another speaker. Great.
Yes, another one.
So the first 20 minutes are 20 to 25 minutes are typically just people saying hello, right? And getting to know one another. It's still me setting up. I am infamous for when I do talk to people on Zoom or in person. When I want to connect them with somebody, I'll say, come to the meeting, but you have to remind me who you want me to connect you with because I'm not going to remember. So I have a lot of people who are coming up to me saying, you said you were going to, introduce me to Jane. Where's Jane? I'm like, okay, let me find Jane. But I love that people take me seriously and because I will forget.
No, but we see you as a mentor, the coach, the resource center. That's right.
Yeah, and I love being that. I love connecting. I love the connecting factor of that. So the first 20 to 25 minutes are people saying hello to their friends who they haven't seen in a month.
Yep.
Right?
Because you make the friendships. It's not the sales. It's not just the business relationship. It's the friendships that can get formed.
And one of the things that I am very, very lucky is I do have a set of clients called The Hive, which Rick Hughes of Peace Entertainment Media is one. I ask them every networking meeting to kind of work on my behalf. I always say, I work on your behalf every other day of the month, but this is the one day I make you work on my behalf because I'm one person. And so they are wonderful about going up and saying hello to people and introducing themselves and welcoming them and making them feel, I guess, it can be intimidating to walk into a room of people you don't know, right? Your very first time.
It is. It does not matter if you're a young 20-year-old something, a young professional, 40, 50-year-old, or if you've been doing this for a while. If you're going into a new room, a new setting with people you don't know, it's always intimidating.
Or the biggest extrovert. I can talk to anybody and I have gotten butterflies a couple times when I'm like, I don't know anybody. What am I doing? Do I need to turn the car around?
and hit that reverse tail end out of there.
They'll never know. They'll never know. But I'm very lucky that my Hive clients make people feel welcome and invite them in and sit with them typically to, give them kind of the lay of the land. And then I start the meeting, usually have a few announcements to make. If I need to give somebody a speaking opportunity, obviously we kind of do that at the front end of the meeting.
That's right. Yeah.
And then we really kind of just get to the heart of the matter. And that is what people come to do, and that's to network.
Yeah, the networking event, the goal is to network, meet new people, catch up with friends, and just let them know your why. And so I really enjoy that aspect.
Good.
I really do.
Good.
Yeah.
And then give everybody about 20, 25 minutes to kind of go around their table. And then I try to, in a creative way, this is what I need your opinion on, is then have everybody get up and switch tables. But switch tables in a very random way, right?
Or else you're going to see the same people at each table.
Which is what you don't want, right?
You don't want that.
The whole goal is to come out and meet people yes. You do want to see your old friends, and you do want to.
You always want to catch up with
But your friends
people.
know what you do, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're there to grow your business, you want to meet people who are outside of that circle of influence.
The new people or people you haven't had the opportunity to connect with, even though you may have seen them passing by, be like, "Hey, I know you, John, but we haven't sat down yet."
Right. And so, I would love your input on how I can randomly have people switch tables.
So that's definitely hard. I definitely applaud you, commend you, and your Hive group. How you guys do it, random. I think beforehand it might have been with your group or different groups.
Yeah.
Some people say, whatever your date of birth is, it's the last digit or your month.
Yep.
And maybe we have tables 1 through 15 or the day of your birth. So then you switch around there.
Yep.
I've heard about doing the phone number as well. So if your phone number ends in 8. And you started at table 2, you're going to go ahead and jump to 8.
Yep.
So it is difficult.
Yep.
Yeah. And either way, I know depending on the amount of people that come out to these networking events, if you have the opportunity to do 2 rounds of intentional networking or 3 rounds, you may have 2 or 3 people that do follow along. Yeah. And your table. So if you were at table 1, you jump to table 5, you may have 1 or 2 people that follow along.
That is going to happen.
That's going to happen.
And you can't really help
you can't control that.
Right,
You're like, hey, no, get away from me. I just saw you.
Right.
I know your spiel. It's like, you're a cool guy, but I know you already. I got to find new people.
But my favorite way to break people up is by their the month that they were born in.
Yeah. I really
That's
like that
my favorite. And I didn't, because I was like, okay, well, I have 12 tables, so we'll do it by your month. So go to, whatever, if you're born in June, you'll go to table 6. Mm-hmm. That was, the first time I did that was so fun because, there's 2 astrological signs for each month, right? Because your astrological sign isn't based off the month you were born, it's based on the day that you were born in that month.
That's right.
So people were like, I'm going to mess this up, but are you a Gemini or are you a Cancer? Or, what day?
I don't know the signs either. So we're both going to say a bunch of signs out here.
What day were you born? And so my last meeting was really funny. I was born in June, if you can tell. But my last meeting, we did do the birthday thing or the month that you were born in. And the table for June, because of course I had to pop into the June ladies. And we were all born within a few days of each other. It was kind of crazy. Some of them had 2 of them had the same birthday. It was kind of fun. It's just kind of fun.
Twins,
yeah. It's just kind of fun to have something else to talk about besides just business. I'm like, what's your birth date? And are you a Gemini? And are you where were you born? Who was born first?
And you have to. The goal is build the friendships, make the business connections, and network, but it's not rigid.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what I love. Absolutely love Buzz networking.
It's
not rigid. You make it fun. For people that are maybe introverts and even extroverts like yourself, you still get a little nervous going into a place that you don't know anyone, new venue for yourself. So breaking it down where hey, I'm a Virgo. Are you a Virgo? Cool. Are you organized or disorganized? I just say that because my wife teases me. She's always teasing me. I like being very organized. So if I see my cup this way, I want everything lined up. And then my wife's more of no, let's just place it there. It's there.
I would have thought it was the other way around.
We'll let it hang around there. But no, she teases me. We have an entryway table.
Yeah.
And I have my watch, my ring, my wallet. Yeah. It lined up. So anytime it's out of place, she's like, hey, honey, were you in a rush today? And I'm like, oh, you got me. I wasn't in a rush. But it's that sort of things where if it's by your birth month, you get there. It's hey, maybe we're birthday twins. So hey, maybe I'm a Virgo. If you follow the astrological signs, it's are you organized, not organized, but things like that.
Right.
Make it easier for someone that's new or someone that's introverted.
Right.
Ease them into there.
Yeah.
And then we have the Hive, like Rick Hughes with Peace Entertainment Media.
Yes.
He is great at making those connections, building solid relationship with people.
Yes. So to talk about the Hive really quick. So
yes, please. And that's what I wanted to ask as well. What is the Hive?
So the Hive is a set of clients that I work on behalf of. So they come to me when they want they come to me for a couple different reasons, but the main one is I do what I call reactive marketing. Okay. And I thought I coined the phrase. I didn't coin the phrase, but most people are not familiar with the phrase because I Googled it. There's a definition out there. Because I was like, do I need to trademark that?
Yeah, TMA real quick. By Julie Burke.
Right. But what reactive marketing is, it is connecting somebody to somebody who is looking for their product or service, right?
Okay.
So, and I do that on social media. And because business owners are so busy working the business as they should, that's why they got into it in the first place. But they still want to grow. They can't always make a networking meeting. You know, they can't rely on this client that had a really great experience with them to refer them to all their friends and family. Yeah. So I, with some help of an employee that I have, that we are on Nextdoor and Facebook typically.
Yeah.
In all of the groups that you could be part of.
Any Facebook group Julie's part of.
Yeah.
So please keep Julie Burke in mind if you want to be in good hands.
Yeah. So for Rick, for example, I'm looking for people who are looking for a videographer. So his services are, typical weddings. He's done the wedding industry for, 20, 25 years, Rick.
We're not dating you, Rick. Young man.
But he also does branding videos for small businesses. So I like to call him, he's the Ron Howard of business commercials.
Yes.
So because again, that's how you can get the word out there about your business and people to know, like, and trust you the quickest is to do a commercial. And I'm not saying you're going to put it on TV. That's not what I mean.
No.
But it's a commercial that you could post on any social media stream that you have, and maybe that'll go viral. Who knows, Rick?
Yeah, we're still trying.
Yeah, and then he has this fabulous podcasting space that he has built out in his home in Dumfries. So people who are looking to either start a podcast or they're only doing audio, they're not doing video. He has all the equipment already set up here. He has an hourly rate. It's very reasonable. So those people who do only have an audio podcast, I really, really highly suggest them doing a video podcast because what did I say earlier? People purchase from who they know, like, and trust, and the quickest way for them to know, like, and trust you is video.
It is video. Yeah.
You're welcome, Rick.
And we were just talking about that earlier, where going to the in-person meeting for 90 minutes, maybe you only talk to a solid 6 people. You build solid 6 relationships, but with that video that's going to be out there, you can go through different platforms and cross-post them, and the reach it's unlimited.
But
it is.
So to your point, you may only meet 6 people, and they're going to hear your spiel, right?
Yeah.
But what if they want more information, right? Because most people do. They do. It's very rare that somebody's going to walk away from the table and go, I know exactly what Alicio does. I know exactly what he does.
And then keep in mind the other 5 people you spoke with.
Right.
And then you're still working in your business. Yeah.
Right. I know exactly what he does. I don't need to have a one-on-one with him. I don't need to have a video from him. I know exactly what he does. I know exactly who to refer him. That is rare. That is rare. So if you have this video commercial that Rick Hughes from Peace Entertainment Media can help you with, wouldn't that be great to say, look, I know you're busy. I'm just going to shoot you over this video. Take a look at it at your convenience. Let's set up a one-to-one, and we can talk about my business more. We can talk about your business more, and see how we can collaborate or become referral partners for one another.
Yeah,
that's all it has to be.
Yeah,
like it's.
What you're saying, when you know, like, and trust somebody, one of 2 things is going to happen. It's either going to be the collaboration, where as partners, like Rick and James are going to be partners for their mastermind. Or referral partners, where I know Julie does this, she knows I do this. We're going to refer clients to one another.
How many times Alicio is not a client of mine, but how many times have I reached out to you? No, that's okay. That's okay. And let me say why that's okay. Not every business is a good client for me in particular. I am not a typical marketing agency. You would go to James O'Leary at Astoria Media Group if you wanted a typical marketing agency. My service that I was just talking about for reactive marketing does not translate to every business. Yeah. And I know that. Yeah. And I know that. But how many people have I reached out to you and say, do you do this? Or how does people get a hold of you?
Since we've been connected, Julie, we met sometime over the summer of 2024. Now we're coming into spring 25. I want to say, if not 100, close to 100. Yeah, in that time frame. That she's connected me with her reactive marketing, where she sees somebody online.
That was way higher than I thought he was going to say.
She sees somebody online saying, and because I am a branch manager with Burke and Herbert Bank, she sees somebody online saying one of 2 things. I'm a new business owner. I'm a small business owner looking to build a relationship with the bank. Julie thinks of me, and I'm very thankful, very grateful you do, Julie.
Absolutely.
Or the other thing is, she sees somebody post and they're unfortunately not getting the best service at their current financial institution, XYZ Bank. They're charging me outrageous fees. I call 1-800 number. Nobody ever cares to remember what I call about. Julie knows I'm all about service beyond expectation. So she's like, hey, maybe you two can collaborate, work together, and be in good hands.
Look, you can cut this out if you need to, Rick, but like, I don't bank at Bergen Herbert. Alicio is not my branch manager. But getting to know you over the past year, I feel like I'm a good judge of character, right? And I know you're going to take care of somebody.
Oh, thank
and
you.
that is the best feeling to have.
Yeah.
I have some clients that I have not used their services personally. I always use Cindy Price with American Cowboy Roofing. Yeehaw! I don't need a new roof. It's not something that I currently need, but getting to know her and trusting her and see how she talks to people and see how she interacts with people, I know she's going to take care of people.
That's right.
And she's going to take care of anybody that I send her way. And so that's what I'm looking for, because I know that that's what I would want if somebody were to refer me, because I want to know that if I have an issue, I know I can call Alicio and he's going to pick up my call and he's going to walk me through it, or he's going to refer me to somebody who can help me. Yeah. That's all you want.
Yeah,
That's
what it's about.
Right.
Yeah. Getting to know people, know, like, and trust them.
Yep.
Either for your personal needs or because you know that person. If your friend, family member, anybody reaches out, hey, do you know somebody that needs roofing? Cindy Price, American Cowboy Roofing. You're more than happy to refer Cindy because of who she is and the value she brings.
And you do this as well. And to see her heart and how much she wants to help other business owners, and it's I don't know. I get a little verklempt. I get a lot of goosebumps when I think about our community, Rick. Like, I really do.
That's beautiful.
It's so,
because the passion's there.
It's so great to see what I had envisioned and seeing it come together and seeing it come to life.
From when you first envisioned Buzz Networking and now what it is 6, 7, 8 months down the road.
And we're not even a year in. Imagine where we're going to go.
Yeah.
Where do you think we should go?
Yeah. But one thing I want to touch on, Julie, that you were just talking about how you yourself, you have Buzz Networking, you have the Hive, and you also mentioned the Colony.
Yeah.
So what is the Colony?
So to back up a second.
Please.
Okay.
Please.
So my Hive clients, they get reactive marketing from me.
Yes.
That's what I do for them. And it works, and their businesses grow, and they get new clients, and they also get a host of other benefits for being my client. And one of those is a mastermind. So what I do is I bring them together once a month. And again, it's whoever can make it.
Yeah.
Right? But it's been very, very cool to see. I have about 20-ish clients. Mm-hmm. We typically have anywhere between, I don't know, Rick, what do you think? 10 to 12 show up pretty regularly?
Yeah, about 10 to 20.
10 to 20?
10 to 20.
We haven't had everybody show up, but that's the goal, right?
But on a monthly basis, at least 10 are showing up.
But here's what they do. They love that meeting, that they put it on their calendar, and they do not miss it.
They make the time.
They make the time because what we do, there's no agenda for that meeting. It is 10 to 12 business owners, and myself included. I'm a business owner, right?
Yeah.
Myself included, coming together and talking about what they want to talk about. So the last meeting, there were two subjects that came up. One
is very valuable, brainstorming and coming together. I think it's excellent. I love it.
Yeah, the two subjects that came up last time were, I have an employee. Mm-hmm. They are not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Ooh. We've all been there.
What do we do? What do I do? Mm-hmm. What do I do? And rather than, because I think that business owner was expecting everybody to be like, oh, just fire that person or what have you. But you know what the first thing people were saying?
What was it?
I've been there. I had the same situation. Mm-hmm. It stinks.
It's not a good time.
This is what I did. So rather than being like, how could you? You didn't have the checks and balances in place and, so on and so forth. It was, I feel you. Because I've been there and it stinks. It's not a good feeling. you trusted that person.
Yeah.
And they didn't do what they said that they were going to do. That was a beautiful moment for me because I was like, this is working. And then so then we brainstormed with her of things that she could do
with that employee.
Okay. To make things different.
Yeah, coach them up.
Coach them, or have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? And I said at the beginning I try to, Rick's going to have to help me remember to do it every time, is some of the Hive clients have been in business for a really long time and some of them are new. But even the ones that have been in business for a really long time, I try to say, I want you to come into this meeting with an open mind. Even if I give you a suggestion and you've tried it 15 times and it didn't work, I don't want to hear that you tried it 15 times and it didn't work. I want you to write it down along with everybody else's suggestions. Then go back to your office and digest it. Because that 16th time that you try that thing might be the right time, right?
Yeah.
So just come in with an open mind that no idea is a bad idea. We're all here to help you. We're all here to support you. And that's what was such a beautiful moment when everybody was like, oh my gosh, I've been there. I have been there.
It's rough.
I have been there. And it's not good.
I love hearing
It stinks.
that. The collaboration.
Yeah. And then the other subject matter we talked about was when and how do you raise your prices? And I thought that was a really good.
That's a great question.
That's a great question.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that business owner got several different ideas on how to do that. And because everybody has a different way of doing it.
Yeah.
So they got several ideas to walk away with, to digest, to think about, to say, okay, what's going to work best for my business based on these ideas that I just got.
No, and it sounds amazing because if the specific person that asked about having an employee that's not performing or when do I change and or raise prices, the seasoned business owners, entrepreneurs, maybe they walked away with something as well. And the new ones that didn't ask that question, they haven't come to that point in their business yet.
Exactly.
But things happen.
Yep.
Things happen. You can't control everything in your business, in your career. Things are going to happen. So I love how you said, my colony, I want everybody to come in with an open mindset.
Yep.
Because you don't know what you're going to walk away with it.
Right. And so the Hive Mastermind is only for my Hive clients. Nobody can come, my Hive clients.
Okay.
Nobody can come to that meeting. So that meeting is not, I don't post that meeting anywhere.
That's
because it's private for my particular clients.
Okay.
But I had gotten so much feedback of how much they love it and how much they love coming together. The other thing, Rick, tell me what you think about this. I only work with one client per industry. So Rick is my only videographer that I work with. So I feel, and he'll correct me if I'm wrong, I know he will, is because I only work with one client per industry, it's also a safe space. Your competition is not in the room because there's no other videographer that's in that room. So when Rick says, I want to grow I don't think that this is confidential information. I want to grow my business in Virginia. I started in Maryland. That's where I'm from. That's where a lot of my contacts are. I want to really beef it up in Virginia. His competition is in the room, like
taking notes,
saying, "Oh, I think you should stay in Maryland."
Like my feedback is stay in your lane.
Stay in Maryland.
I'm going to take over this market. Like no,
it's a beautiful thing because what's different about me is that there's a lot of videographers, and this is not common knowledge. There's a lot of videographers who work under me and I put to work. So there's a lot of video production companies in this area, Virginia, Maryland, and DC, that I send out to do work. And in return, they call me. So when their company needs an extra hand or a crew member or a team, there's the camaraderie. And James says it's best, his 3 C's, right? Not competition, but camaraderie, and I forgot the 3rd C. Collaboration.
Maybe?
Yeah. And that's how I operate. So that's why him and I are such a good fit, because that is our motto. So putting people to work, right?
Yep.
Eliminates competition too.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I'm gone.
So to answer your question about the colony,
yes.
right? Okay. That was a really long-winded This is very long-winded.
This is what we want to do, Julie.
Okay.
We want to get to know who you are, what's your why, and what's your plan going forward.
So I have gotten such great feedback from my Hive clients about the mastermind and how they would rather miss a networking meeting than the mastermind. Okay,
goodness,
that's how much they
because of the value of it.
They value it. And I'll even take it a step further. They're now collaborating together, like Rick and James. They're now referring each other because they see each other monthly in a smaller setting. So they've gotten to know each other a little bit more and a little easier than having to set up a one-to-one. When I have a mastermind meeting, I block my whole day. That mastermind meeting used to be an hour.
Yeah.
Then we moved it to 2 hours because people were getting so much out of it.
The knowledge coming out of it.
So great. Yeah. I block off the whole day because, like I said earlier, with my meetings, the mastermind included, come late, leave early. You do what you need to do. But I would love for you to be here for 30 minutes if that's all you can spare.
Yeah.
Right? Because that 30 minutes, you'll walk away with something.
Yeah.
But I block off all day because even though it's noon and the meeting is over, how many people hang around and talk and collaborate and have a one-to-one and let me show you this on my phone?
Keep getting ideas,
they
collaboration,
just keep it going and keep it going. It turns into an all-day thing. It's great, though. It is wonderful. So back to the question about the colony. Because my Hive mastermind is only for my Hive clients, I thought, what if I just set up a mastermind structured the same way, one company per industry, but you don't have to be my client in order to be part of the colony. Okay? So you're not going to get the reactive marketing and you're not going to get some of the other benefits that my monthly clients get, right? But wouldn't it be great to bring together these people and for them to witness and be part of a mastermind that people find to be so great and find so valuable.
Yeah.
And so that's what I announced. Our first meeting's on Tuesday. Ooh. Here's the thing I didn't expect. You ready for this one? 2 of my Hive clients also joined the colony because they get so much value out of that mastermind. They want to be part of both.
Yeah. And then they're getting in front of more people.
And they're getting in front of more people. And they also can help more people.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Isn't that crazy?
No, that's beautiful.
I know. Yeah. It's so great. I was like, you do? I'm like, this is a paid program. They're like, yeah, just send me the invoice.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
It's like, okay.
So yeah. So I try to make my paid offers or programs to be somewhat reasonable. I understand that it's all small business. I get it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, starting out, small business.
I'm a start out small business, so I get it. But yeah, so that starts on Tuesday, and then of course I have my Hive clients, and then I have. Can I talk about my third program real quick?
Yes, please.
Okay, that one's called the Pollination Program, and that one's actually in a pilot phase right now.
Okay.
So we're getting some feedback from the people who have joined that. That's an accountability group. Okay. And so what that is when we come out with phase 2, or Pollination 2.0, we like to call it, is it's going to be an 8-week program. We're going to have a Zoom once a week. The first 4 will be, I and my partner are going to give you certain tasks that you should do every day, right? To be the CEO of your business, these are the things that you should work on every single day, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes. But you need to keep your eyes on the money, and you need to work on personal development, and you need to work on these things, right? So the first 4 weeks are, have you done the tasks? If you haven't, it's okay. Yeah. This is not school. You're not going to get a bad grade. You're not going to be sent to the principal's office. What was the challenge for not doing all of the tasks? You know, I'm not here to be your teacher, what have you, or be your mom. And then the next 4 is, okay, because the first 4, the hope is that then after the first 4 weeks, the tasks are down and they become more...
They become part of your habit,
They become the habitual, exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. And so, because what we have gotten to the point now with the pilot program is they're like, okay, we got them down. We feel like we have the foundation. Okay. We feel like we know what we should be doing every day now. And so these next 4 weeks are about, and I think we're 2 weeks into the next 4, is okay, well, what was one victory you had this week and what was one challenge? Okay. And make that a shorter answer, but a more in-depth answer, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. Yeah,
So
because the first 4 weeks is making habitual, changing your mindset. The next 4 weeks is getting into the details.
Yeah. So if somebody says, I'm reading this book because Julie's making me, because it's my personal development, but it's really good and I think everybody should read it, the first 4 weeks we're like, okay, just what's the name of it? Send us the link, you know? But the next 4 weeks is about, well, why? Why is it so good? Why did you like it? What hit you the most? What did you take away from it? What was the aha moment that that you read in that book that made you make a change in your business, or not make a change, or make you feel like you're on the right path, or whatever they took away from that particular thing. So that's where we are right now, and that's really cool.
Pollination.
The pollination program, and the second round of that will be coming out we're in March now. It's going to be the beginning of May.
Beginning of May?
Yep.
Okay.
So I'll be marketing that in April.
All right. So I guess the last remarks I want to ask you,
Yes.
Julie, if you can wrap it up as fast as possible.
Sure.
What do you foresee for Buzz Networking to complete your year, so the next 6 months?
Oh, that's a loaded question because it changes every day. Seriously, it really does. I don't know. Is that an okay answer?
That's an honest answer. The honesty, transparency is what we're about here.
Yeah. If you had asked me 3 weeks ago, I would have said we're going to go into Maryland and we're going to go into DC and we're going to do all these things. And then I look at my calendar and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's no way. And I still haven't even feel like I have conquered or I don't feel like I've done everything that I can do in Northern Virginia yet.
Okay.
So,
so you don't know, but it sounds like you have your plan, which is stay in
I
Northern
feel
Virginia.
like
All right.
I got some opportunities to kind of go into Maryland, and some of them I've taken, some of them I'm like, maybe, I don't know, I'm still toying with it a lot. But right now, Buzz is me, and they haven't figured out cloning yet, so I haven't figured out.
You can't split your
I can't figure out how to be all places at all times, and so I think for right now, it's really trying to get out of. It's going to sound terrible. Most of my contacts are in Prince William County.
Yes.
And so I really want to grow in Fairfax, Loudoun areas, especially closer into DC, because that's the area that I don't have as many contacts in.
Okay. So even though you said you don't know, but you Prince William County.
But I kind of do.
It sounds like you said in Prince William County, now you want to go into Fairfax.
I just needed to talk it out with you, Alicio.
That's what this is all about. All right, Julie. So the last thing I want to ask you is, anybody wants to get in touch with you, where can they find you?
Oh, I'm on Facebook all day long. That's actually really the easiest way to get a hold of me.
Is it? All right.
It is. My Facebook name is me, and it's Julie Nicholson Burke. Nicholson like Jack Nicholson. It's my maiden name, so I know I'm not related. I wish I was. But it's Julie Nicholson Burke. Burke like in Burke, Virginia. Burke.
Or like Burke and Herbert.
Or like Burke and Herbert. And I'm not related to Burke and Herbert either. Oh, gosh,
What
darn.
a funny story if she was. Right?
So through basically Facebook Messenger is the easiest way to get a hold of me.
Okay.
But
and then for the Buzz Network, how do we get in touch?
So there's a Facebook group called Buzz Networking Northern Virginia.
Okay.
And anybody and everybody, if you're in the United States, is welcome to join that group. And if you go under the featured tab in the group, that has all of our upcoming meetings in it.
Nice. Okay. Well, Julie, it was an absolute honor, absolutely my pleasure to have you here coming out. I love this time with you, getting to know more about you, your background,
So
your why, and what you keep doing for this community.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, so thank you for coming out, and thank you for joining us on this episode of CEO Talks. Again, my name is Alicio Castaneda, branch manager of Burke & Herbert Bank. I had the honor of being with Miss Julie Burke. Thank you.
Bye.